Galera, estamos aqui na Winners Final, do lado da Winners, obviamente. Winners Final do lado da Winners é fogo, né? Aí a gente tem aqui o Magd de Asuri. E o Magd conhecido aí por ter um estilo de jogo bem mais lento e tal, né? Passivo. E o Gichabu, bom, eu acredito que vocês tenham visto o vídeo no qual ele apareceu fazendo coisas incríveis de Qatar, né? Então a gente tem uma mirror match de Qatar muito interessante aqui. Então bora lá. E não é Dusk e também não é MMA, mas enfim, bora lá.
At least, worst case scenario, 2 tournaments in a row, he's going to secure a medal, which is incredible consistency.
All the lightsaber haters in chat are going to be like losing their minds to this one. But I'm very curious to see Magdi's Qatar.
Caraca, tá dando 0 to death ali no maluco.
Head Qatars been playing it for a very long time at a very high level compared to Guichi.
Galera, não esquece que caso você queira receber uma análise de replay, você pode se tornar membro aqui no canal no nível seja aluno do Lynx, beleza? Não seja membro. Daí eu faço uma análise de um replay seu e falo o que você precisa melhorar, tá bom? E você também pode estar participando do nosso desafio do Discord pra ganhar a charger de Universal, que é um código pra todos os personagens da corzinha, beleza? É nóis.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I want to bring up, one final thing is that.
E cara, pelo que eu tô vendo aqui, o Guichabu ele tá tentando conseguir mais um approach mais passivão, assim, tá ligado? Não exagerar nos approaches literalmente, né? O que a gente viu um pouquinho na outra partida também, em que ele tava jogando de Qatars. E a gente tá vendo uma disputa meio conflitante aqui, tá ligado? Dois players que conseguem ter momentos passivos muito fortes, né?
I'm gonna add some more because there are probably some game 4s in there. We're at 54. I would add 60. I'd say 67. And I'm looking at official stats right now, so I'm not cheating.
You'd say 67 just on a guess, uh-huh?
Nossa
yeah,
senhora.
67 games.
How convenient.
Wait, am I right?
That is the exact number.
Yes, I'm insane, dude. I'm the best gamer.
No, you're not telling me you did that off.
Oh, I literally, I promise. I'm looking at official stats right now, which just has 3 total games between those two. I did not cheat. Once you asked me, I chose to not cheat.
Ó.
I'm the best.
Eles não agressivo, tá ligado? Vai dar o bait na movimentação, vai, não vai.
I wanted to say something, but that's not broadcast appropriate. Like, I'm better than you, and I mean you as in chat, not you, Hackle.
Apparently so, yeah. And in the meantime, we are seeing an incredibly close game, and I mean, we are kind of seeing exactly what you were talking about with sort of the old versus new Qatars. Guichu, especially using the Lin Fei, is going to open up a few more options. Not necessarily of true combos, but of more comfortable string routes with higher dexterity. Asuri, obviously not a low dex character as such, but not as high as the Lin Fei, as Guichu now takes a bit more of a lead here, an explosive end to that second stock. And dude, that sound effect of juggling Qatars, I've actually never heard that before, juggling 2 lightsaber skins. I love it. I'm sure chat doesn't, but I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. If you don't like it, turn your sound off. Now, Megdi also, Qatars in hand. Looking for at least anything to open up here. Can't be looking for a KO move right now.
Ele tentou essa leitura antes, Magd, já.
Wake-ups in this set. We're going to be seeing a lot of string starters for one player getting turned around. And speaking of turnarounds, Megdi actually cleaning up very comfortably there, not going to let Guichabu build the massive lead that he absolutely could have with the amount of room he had to work with. And Guichabu just chucking the cannon away, does not want to touch that weapon in this matchup, at least not right now.
It's very funny when both of them have Qatars, because Megdi is using like the Ahsoka setup, I believe, which is just like 2 full-size lightsabers compared to what the ones that Guichabu's using. So it looks like Megdi's cheating and just has like way longer lightsabers and way longer range.
I mean, it seems to be paying off so far as he's now turned this match around, as Guichabu now actually on the back foot despite the much larger lead that he had going into that final stock of Megdi, unable to really find that opening here, just floating around, not even throwing out these moves, giving so much respect to this neutral of Megdi, and that's what Megdi wants. I mean, Megdi is that neutral warrior, is so comfortable in this neutral game, and Guichabu was just not even risking getting close, just trying to get as far away as possible, wants this weapon so bad. Unlike some of the players, doesn't want to really open up with that Anand as much, and now forced onto the cannon, the weapon. We haven't seen Guichabu do too much with this game, and just throws out the same signature twice, goes unpunished, but still doesn't land its mark.
Nice jump side air, goes for the low 45-degree weapon toss, which was just a little bit above it. Oh, uses the side air to get back on stage after throwing that weapon toss up. Megdy's going to be disarmed after throwing his down. Guichabu snaking the next weapon toss, or weapon spawn. Not only does it keep it away from Megdy, but it also gets him back on Katars.
That weapon spawn was so advantageous for Megdy there. Guichabu found the Nair, but sent Megdy right down on top of where the weapon was spawning, unfortunately, and now we're seeing... This is kind of what I expected from this matchup. Now is the double dealer into the recovery. Not quite going to be enough. Guichabu going to be over onto the cannon now, a bit more consistent on the KOs with the side sig, turning it around.
Eu.
Really same thing, though it doesn't
Vamos lá, segunda
apply as
partida
much
sem mudança de pique, sem mudança de
to,
mapa. Bora.
Surrey compared to Linfei.
Pera, sem mudança de mapa, né?
But still,
Eu não tô
wow,
confundindo.
that's amazing. I would not have guessed that. Not that he was like super inefficient, but I just wouldn't have expected his efficiency to be like that worthy of note.
I mean, for a player like Megdy who likes to drag out those games, force the opponent to misplay through good spacing and much slower neutral, I mean, we have seen plenty of games where Megdy has needed to do over 600 damage to secure those games just because he's not afraid of playing that long game, and so seeing good efficiency, it's a good sign for Megdy at least. It's not Guichabu struggling. Again, it's so strange. This doesn't feel like I'm watching the Guichabu I'm used to seeing. Guichabu is giving like so much physical respect to Megdy in this set. Like the second Megdy starts to chase, Guichabu is out of there. He's not trying to turn things around, not trying to take back space. He's like, you see that, like instead of going for like a through or anything like that, he is going all the way up. He's getting as far away as possible, getting full respect, and obviously there is to try and, you know, continue longevity of the stock, not get caught by a narrow recovery and lose the first stock early, but
Nice,
still,
muito boa
so
conexão.
much respect. And the second he gets in, he applies this pressure, he builds up damage, but it's a really on and off playstyle here.
Sabia que ele ia dançar de
Nice
si.
change up of the dodge from Megdy. So he
Caraca, ele recuperou muito bem a partida, velho.
Going for the D-Light in the other direction after going for it to the left and then going for it to the right, hoping to get the dodge read and the KO after that. Megdy with the juggle game
Eu achei que ele
coming
tinha
up.
dodge.
Oh, grab the recovery, gets the KO off the top. Going back, of course, to the Katars.
Over to the cannon. I mean, for once, this is probably
Nossa
the weapon
senhora,
he
que
actually wants to be
dor.
holding as the NC comes through.
Pig parece fraquinha. Só parece mesmo.
Guichabu, obviously, going to be looking for the Katars here, going to be looking for that game plan of racking up the damage with the Katars and then trying to go for a KO with cannon if the Katars aren't working out. But I mean, in a perfect world for Guichabu would just play a double Katars legend if he could.
Yeah. That'd be so gross. I hope they never make that.
Absolutely.
I mean, they probably won't, but like, please don't. We don't need that.
Still behind here, and there's that wake up again I was talking about. We're seeing a fair bit of that now, keeping the damage actually a lot more equal here as multiple openings are found. Both players throwing things right down. Looking for the openings, and the dodge is punished, but only by a nair. Nothing more dangerous there. Megdy finds that two-piece, doesn't find the follow-up. There, looks for the in-dodge, and our both players, they're just finding these openings, this 1-2, and then not catching the dodge afterwards.
Caraca, ele consegue controlar muito bem de Katars, mano. O Guichabu. Eita, que isso?
Starting to
Essas
look more
trocas
like
aí.
a classic Megdy game as we're getting into this one. Does grab the KO. We're about 3 minutes into this game. Megdy might get taken out here shortly if Guichabu grabs the cannon, which he does. Could go for the sidelight turnaround neutral signature like he was doing previously, or going for the raw side sig to close the second stock out just like he closed the last game out.
I mean, I respect Guichabu for going for these sigs on the cannon, like,
Olha
especially that
isso,
side
mano,
sig.
muito
It's
bom.
deceptive how difficult that sig can be to punish.
Sig
Because if you overshoot
instantânea.
that on a character with such high dex, as long as your opponent isn't right on top of where you're ending up with the overshoot, you're pretty much home free. You can act out of
Dá
that
pra
sig
starve,
just
né,
so
mano?
early with so much distance
Não
that
tem
it's
opção
actually
melhor.
pretty deceiving on how safe that sig
Nossa,
can be.
quase.
Guichabu's making good use of playing it in a way that is making it hard for Megdy to punish. And now, we're on to these final stocks. Both players just looking for these openings, slowing things right
Caraca,
down once
muito
again. Oh, but Guichabu's
Nice.
starting to heat up, finds hit after hit, and now opening up again. We're seeing
Oh,
the
this
same
is
thing as
tough.
last time. The slap side there, Megdy sent down, has no options.
Actually get the KO, but was very close to
Sem
grabbing
mudanças
it.
em
But
nada.
Guichabu's ability to find consistent
Vamos lá.
KOs at a reasonably good time on the Katars is pretty much second to none.
for sure. And we're seeing
Caraca,
MD
conexões.
swap over here, and that
That's so
might be a mistake. As Guichabu showing a lot more confidence now with 2 games under the belt and not slowing down. Megdi trying to do exactly that, and Guichabu just not giving the room to breathe. But now the respect is coming in, realizing don't want to overheat here, don't want to overstep your advantage. And there's that wake up again. Megdi only finding 1 hit off the burn dodge.
Mano,
Guichabu goes to the
tô
double
assustado,
D-line.
velho. O
We've seen
Guichabu
that before,
tá,
doesn't find the recovery out of it.
tá impressionando
Now,
demais.
fishing for this KO. Megdi knows it. McCannon comes out. And Sig, D-Light Nair actually would have been free there for Guichabu, but relying too heavily on the signature. Over back onto the Katars. Goes to the GC side Sig, and Megdi can punish.
Yeah, Guichabu's definitely not as much of a D-Light Nair bear as he is like a signature guy, or even just like a raw neutral air guy. And then like eventually, if that doesn't work, then it seems like he'll get impatient, and then he'll finally go for the D-Light Nair.
Absolutely, and now looking for the KO.
Acho que ele ia dar, hein? Acho que ele ia
As much
dar.
damage is now back into an equal game. Guichabu has so much room to work with. That's an interesting use actually there. Throw the weapon up just to get the unarmed recovery for the verticality, and then picks it back up again. Finds the second down air, but Guichabu started to slip just a little bit towards the end of that first stock. Can he build a further lead here? Can he play for this 3-0 over Megdi?
Caraca, quase.
Oh, he snaked that one
weapon
away. I thought he wouldn't have gotten it in time, but he did, and he needed that. I feel like there's been several times where the weapon-starving game has just like favored Guichabu a little bit more, and sometimes that's just like raw luck from the timing. Oh, or the place that they spawn. Dude, Megdi needs this KO. All of a sudden, 50 damage on the stock. Now beyond 50 damage, almost 100 damage on the stock, and he can't find these KOs.
This is what we were talking about there, that lower efficiency that we sort of have come to accept from Megdi's playstyle here. And Guichabu, I mean, you'll take it. You'll absolutely take it. More room to breathe, more chances to get extra damage.
Meu
And every
Deus,
single
mano.
hit now is just one less.
Calma lá,
Guichabu
amigão,
needs
calma
next
lá.
stock. So Megdi over to the sword, much more consistent KO weapon, but isn't going for these D-lights. Knows Guichabu's going to be expecting it, just going for these aerial
Quase,
options.
quase,
He gets punished.
Ui! O vento
Nice
matou ele,
dodge. He
coitado.
landed and instantly dodged so that he could get to the right and get away and off stage from Megdi. What a beautiful timing on that dash land.
What I'm most curious about is the choice to stick on the Asuri. I feel like the sword just hasn't been... I mean, neither weapon's been doing as much as I think Megdi wants. Obviously not winning these games, but at the same time, considering it, that second most played legend is going to be that Val, and gauntlets into Katars, and especially a legend like Lin Fei, can be so difficult. But I mean, I'm singing the praises of Guichabu's Katars from the matchup, and as that's happening, Megdi is starting to bring things
Não
back a
entendi a
bit.
Neutrocídio, né?
Getting a bit too greedy, even a bit too antsy, looking for these options that aren't necessarily the safest. And Megdi coming now to expect that ending out of the cannon, doesn't punish there, finds the end like Guichabu. Now actually at disadvantage. They go all the way over the recovery now. Onto the Katars again.
Nice.
In a better spot here to find
Não
the
bloqueou,
kill,
o
but the
Sig
GC
muito
sizing
fraca.
not quite going to be enough. That's that lower force of the Lin Fei, and Guichabu just trying to jump
Caraca.
scare with that side air, does manage to close things out.
Recovery.
on the second
A diferença
stock.
da force do
Can he
recovery pra
close
Sig,
out
tá
the
ligado?
sector?
I think it's going to be really tough. I think so far, I mean, we're obviously 2-0 in favor of Guichabu here. It seems like Guichabu has either been like heavily in the lead or at least a little bit in the lead. Like even though both of them are getting sometimes down to like very deep red like they were at the end of last stock, Guichabu has just at least a little bit of an edge to then let him to like start to really destroy the final stock of Megdi. Neutral Sig coming out, it seems like Megdi's getting a little bit impatient here, really wants that KO, even
Caraca,
hit
mano.
clashes, finally gets
Oh.
the D-Light side air, but we already
Tão
have
on
50
fire,
damage
mano.
up on Megdi, and that's a decent lead because Guichabu's been able to hold these leads for long enough, or even if he doesn't have a
Agora
damage
é a
lead,
vez-
they'll
a
both
vez
be in
dele,
red,
deu
and he
troco.
just finds the KO before
Mas ele vai pro
Megdi does.
Starve.
So his pacing has just been better.
Ele já vai trocar pra
Starting to move a
Katars.
bit here, though, as Guichabu forced to take some more time, grab a different weapon, doesn't want the cannon here. Damage now pretty equal. Guichabu looking to turn things around, close out this game. The pressure's got to be mounting, though. Guichabu's got to be feeling those nerves. First time trying to get into the winners' side of Grand Finals. First time getting into a Grand Finals, possibly of a major. Gotta be feeling that pressure.
Meu Deus do céu.
He's been here before.
Quem que vai pra grande
on
final?
the side, but he's been this deep in a tournament. And that experience might be starting to show.
Taqueou alguém, pelo amor de Deus.
Drag out these tournament runs. Which we can't afford to overheat just yet.
Não, arriscado pra caralho, arriscado pra...
It's a big send, and Megdy's there to punish. Who has no
arriscado,
options.
mano, muito arriscado.
The third game goes
Tentou voltar com o
Megdy's
recovery,
way.
que é bem punível ainda. Muito vacilo.
662.
Yeah, I was gonna say, strength stance, sword in
Vamos lá,
hands.
mesmo
You
mapa,
have the
mesmos
tools to
piques.
find those KOs. It's
Esse
not like
mapa tá
you have
sendo
weak
jogado
switches
nesse
in the
campeonato,
Surrey as
hein?
well. You have
Caramba.
so much force on both of your N6, and I mean, the sword side sig as well can just delete a stock under the right
Já
circumstances.
preparou a double
Still
catars
Megdy
dele já.
Struggling with that efficiency, Guichabu chasing, and this is the Megdy gameplay we came here to expect, and maybe that's getting tough for Guichabu. Maybe that longevity is what'll
De
turn
novo.
things around as Megdy now opening up this game actually in the lead for once.
He's definitely not getting caught
Caraca,
by
ele
as
tá
many
pegando
of
as
these
duas
down air
alturas,
initiations
basicamente.
from Guichabu. He's either
On the flip
initiating
side-
aerially where Guichabu can't find the down airs, or is spacing, or he'll like backdash out of an incoming dare because he knows that's how Guichabu's going to come in. Because that's a lot of times how he initiates against most people. Right there.
Absolutely, and Guichabu
Right there.
seeing so many dares, yeah, and giving so much respect. Megdy just steps back, finds the end light, not going to be enough for a KO.
Puniu.
I mean,
GG.
it's space, the recovery
Meu
is gonna be
Deus do
enough,
céu,
and now
velho.
Megdy
Que
actually
tenso
wants a
esses
full
dois
stop
jogando.
up over Guichabu in game number 4 here. Cannon now in hand. And this is not what Guichabu wants. I mean, he wants these Katars to rack up the damage as fast as possible. We've seen him be capable of these big cannon strings, but he's going for these same options repeatedly. Megdy isn't answering back, but it's nothing too crazy. Now over onto the Katars again for Guichabu. Needs to find something special here to close out this stock of Megdy. Gonna go up to the top. Gonna go for another, maybe doesn't find
Let's see.
it.
Meu Deus.
But doesn't find the dash for that end light as well. I think the nerves might be creeping in a bit here. As we're seeing these drops, actually drops it again, but Megdy falls into it.
Ainda não é suficiente, 3 de dano. Acho que ele tá com 4 de dano, inclusive.
Second, but back onto the Katars.
He's going to press the edge guard. We saw him go over just a little bit. I don't know if that was like a feint that Megdy just caught a punish on, so the edge guard stopped there. Ooh, nice side air. Bouncing off the stage, sending over to the edge. These neutral airs, at least the first one, making connection. Oh, Megdy still gets over to the wall. I can't believe that neutral air, the bottom side of that,
Meu
didn't
Deus, não
spike
morre
hard enough
nunca.
to get the KO. Even that side air bouncing off the main stage. Megdy
Agora
waiting
foi.
so
There
long
we
on the
go.
stock, finally eating the big boots from Guichabu. That was a 2.5-minute first stock for Megdy. He was able to put out first the knockout onto the first stock, and then 100 damage onto the second stock as well.
Seeing Guichabu actually stick with the cannon here for once. All this damage build, maybe trying to mix up what
Caraca, tá conseguindo encontrar muita conexão.
from him, and so far
Já
seems
igualou
to
a
be working out
partida.
pretty well as the damage now almost neck and neck again out of nowhere. Guichabu had so much room to work or to make up, and all of a sudden a bit closer back onto the Katars now. Maybe to be familiar with these.
Acho que ele trocou porque ele viu que foi um momento só de pressão que ele conseguiu colocar no Megdy, tá ligado? Que vai ser difícil encontrar aquele momento ali de novo, então ele voltou pra Catars.
Predict the correct dodge, doesn't manage to punish it correctly, unfortunately, but another damage back, neck and neck, and Guichabu trying to get back into this game.
Vamos ver, vamos ver.
Yeah, I definitely want to see a little bit more cannon. I don't want to see him necessarily like 100% main the cannon here against Megdy, but I think he's doing a great job so far of like a weapon spawn comes in and he'll swap to it. Whatever it is, whether it's Katars or whether it's a cannon coming up, I think it's a good idea. And not even just a weapon starve, but I think swapping up the weapon, kind of changing how he's initiating, changing everything up is a great idea for him. There's the
Que
neutral
isso?
air, the
Que
side
isso?
of it, which was falling really low. Dude, what are you doing?
Mano,
Oh no, Hackle.
That had to have been a misinput, right? I refuse to accept that being anything less because that's so heartbreaking. And now Megdy
Mano,
finding a few hits here.
tô triste agora.
Otherwise, we could be going
Ele
to a
pode
game
perder a
five,
partida
and
por causa
Guichabu was
disso.
poised to take this entire set, and all of a sudden Megdy just racking up hit after hit. Guichabu,
mano, que rápido
too
aquela
late for this
ali.
game.
I don't think just yet, but potentially. It's getting very, very close. He's red now. Gets the two-piece, interrupting that recovery. There's the side light.
Mano, o que foi
Oh,
aquilo,
he
velho?
picked it up! I thought Guichabu was gonna be enough away from him. He was looking for the commitment. Which way did he want to go? I thought he wasn't gonna be able to find it, but he did. The recovery grabs the KO. The patience from Meg D in that final moment to really choose which direction based off of the way that Guichabu goes. He didn't go for the immediate read. He went for the reaction, and he just barely made that connection. And he's on the precipice of a reverse 3-0.
Ok, Demon Island agora.
Demon Island. Okay, this is scary for Meg D specifically. We've seen Guichabu get away with some terrifying stuff and opening up confident. That's what, if you're Guichabu, you need that confidence.
Cara, eu acho que a maior diferença aqui é dar um seguinte de Catar dando em feio agora nessa de guard pequenininha. Porque de resto os dois estão mainando Catars aí no momento, então tá igual pra igual, tá ligado? Vai demorar pra dar KO na parte de cima, pros dois. Só no máximo um gimp de Cannon talvez seja efetivo aí. É incrível como é que ele consegue abrir a partida jogando muito bem, velho. Tipo, botando muita pressão e formando dano rápido pra caralho.
Recoveries and specifically like double recoveries more than anybody else. Is he about to get a clean stock here? Surely not.
Surely not. Surely not, Sparky. Surely not.
Meu Deus do céu.
I'm waiting for the recovery connection. I feel like it's almost inevitable at this point.
Zero to death, mano. Que isso?
Actually gotta be, that was 1 minute and 2 seconds, gotta be world's longest 0 to knockout of all time.
Maybe. And I mean, if you're Guichabu, you needed that. After last game, you need this full stock to run away with, because it felt like Meg D was kind of in his head. It felt like Guichabu, his options were starting to fail him, and the things that he was so familiar with doing into Meg D weren't working. But now, obviously, something has changed as he's now still
quase pegou lá em cima.
Doesn't catch that dodge. But, I mean, so much space Guichabu
has. Vocês já me seguiram na Twitch? Desculpa, comentário aleatório. Manda pix, desculpa.
It has to be so annoying if you're Meg D to like figure out when to use your dodge. Whenever he hits you with like a vertical move, or whether it's like an in-light, or whether it's
eu sei que tá um pouco previsível já, né? Eu vi ele usando em algumas outras partidas.
Regardless of when I use my dodge. If I use it early, he just finds the recovery. If I don't use it, he instantly finds the recovery either way. So it's got to be so frustrating.
I mean, I hate to say it, that kind of is just stemming from Guichabu having the better Katars here.
Yes.
And I mean, I feel like it's not a case of Guichabu not having his own frustrations here, as Meg D has been doing so well in forcing Guichabu to play this longer game, and we know Guichabu is a player who likes to just
que isso, mano?
Get
essa recuperação do Neutral era muito esquisita.
Managed to find another stock as well now. Technically 2 stocks up over Meg D. Obviously damage-wise not so much. Right into the gravity cancel neutral heavy. Actually still not enough. One more of those might do it, but Guichabu given a second lease on this stock here. Can he make the most of it?
Inlight didn't even send off screen.
Ele tem recovery ainda.
That one does, but not enough to KO.
Has the recovery?
Nossa, ai, que dor. Meu Deus.
Dude, how many of those have we seen not make a connection today? It's gotta be
2
or 3! He almost got the 3
quase,
stock there.
cara.
Chose not to punish the
Mano, ele vai dar 3
landing.
stocks, será?
I thought he was gonna get the additional stun.
Don't do this to him! Don't do this to him!
No way, mano. Caraca. Pô, tô virando fã dele, cara. Tô virando fã dele, na moral. Gente, minhas redes sociais, link na descrição, nosso servidor do Discord também, link na descrição. Não esquece de deixar um comentário do que você achou dessas partidas aqui que foram muito boas. Gente, um beijo pra todos vocês. Até mais.